Hi you guys, welcome back to the channel. Alright you guys, as you can tell, I am not in my regular studio. I have a busy week. We're on a vacation next week, and I have so many things on my checklist to get done, so I did not actually have time to sit down and record in the studio. So I'm gonna record in my car because that's what I do. I adapt. But I still wanted to hop on here and give you guys my thoughts on Crown Jewel, my wrestling recap this week, because there's been some big things happening. So I did not want to neglect that. So we're recording in my car, and it is what it is. We adapt, we change, and we create content. That's what we do. So, I want to start with Crown Jewel because I have to say hats off to the WWE, because I really think that they did rebound from WrestlePalooza. I really thought Crown Jewel was a great PLE overall. I think the matches were great quality. I think that they didn't need all of the trickery and the shenanigans to really make this PLE good. And I truly enjoyed every single match. I am surprised that Roman got pinned again. Typically, Roman does not get pinned, and the last person to do it was Cody. So the fact that he got pinned against Bronson kind of surprised me. But they are kind of passing the torch to him and Braun, and we'll talk about that a little later. But they are really kind of passing that torch to them and saying okay, here you are, you're the next. So I guess that does build him up there. But I will say I'm intrigued to see what happens between the whole Jimmy, Roman dynamic, because I feel like Roman came back to save them, and then they haven't meshed, and Jimmy and Jay got yelled at, basically, their dad pretty much berated them, after they interfered with Roman's match, and Jay walked out. Jay said, I'm done with this shit, you're not gonna talk to me like I'm nobody. So it'll be interesting to see how that dynamic shifts, what happens between them. I feel like we're going to eventually get Jimmy and Jay. I think Jimmy's going to ride with Jay and see that he is right on some things, but I think we're eventually get Jimmy and Jay versus Roman. I think that's going to be part of the Survivor Series match. It'll just be figuring out who the other pieces are. So that was a really good match. Stephanie and Tiffany was a great match. No surprises there that Stephanie won. I had no doubt. I had every intention to go in knowing she was going to win. That is Tiffy's first loss, so that is huge. That she actually had a loss during her title reign. But I think that both of these girls really proved that they can go toe-to-toe and head-to-head with anybody on the roster during this match. It was a great match. They both performed so well, and they both have such a bright future. Tiffy's already been champ for so many days, has had a great run, great title defenses, so we already know she's well established on the main roster. Stephanie is newer, but she, ever since joining the main roster, she has just put in the work, put in the hard work and the dedication needed, and she deserves that championship. She deserves a longer title run, and I'm really intrigued to see what she can do. She is probably, out of everybody on the roster, which is saying a lot because there's so many talented females on that roster, she is the one I'm most intrigued to see where they go with her, because I think she is super talented. I think she really has the passion and the dedication for it. You see every time she wins, she's instantly grateful. And so that is really what you want people to bring into the wrestling world. You want them to have the passion, because if not, then what are they doing it for? So they did really well, as well as the match with Rhea, Io, Asuka, and Kairi. That was a really good match. I am loving the team of Rhea and Io. There you go. There's their name. I am loving that team, and I honestly think that I would love to see them be a tag team for a little bit. I think the women's tag division needs strength. And so I think keeping them as a tag team would really strengthen that division and would be very interesting. I don't see them being a tag team for an extended period because they're both dynamic solo superstars, but having them be a tag team for a little bit just to give more eyes to that division, I think would honestly be really, really good. Plus, we know that Alexa and Charlotte are holding the tag titles right now. And honestly, an Alexa, Charlotte, Rhea, Io match would be stellar. Like, it would be so good. So I'm holding out hope that the WWE will keep them together for a little while, just for the sense of purpose of getting more eyes on the tag division. And then the other match I want to talk about, of course, is Cody and Seth. Seth Rollins did it after all of his doubt, all of his second guessing. He actually won and beat Cody Rhodes. Now, he did not do it cleanly, but he still beat him and he still stood tall at the end of Crown Jewel and became the Crown Jewel champion. With that being said, Seth Rollins was all high and mighty on his list and then came into Raw and got shut down. So the biggest thing on Raw that I want to talk about is the fact that Braun Breaker speared Seth Rollins and the Vision is now without their visionary. Now, this honestly shocked me because I did expect this breakup to happen because Braun Breaker's not going to take Seth Rollins' shit. He's not going to be berated and belittled because Braun Breaker knows who he is and knows the star that he is. But I am surprised that they did it this soon. I felt like that they were going to go into Survivor Series and stay strong. I honestly thought that they were going to lose Survivor Series and that's where the cracks were going to set in. But we have seen a little bit of a rift over the last few weeks with this team. And it sounds like that Seth Rollins may legitimately have a shoulder injury that he suffered at Crown Jewel, which is that if that's the case, that kind of sucks, because I never want to see anybody get injured, but especially Seth, because he is really, honestly, one of the guys that carries the program, and so I do not want to see him injured, but if it does seem like that's the case, what I will say is I am waiting until WWE confirms this because I have trust issues because of Seth Rollins. Like, I do. So it's hard for me to believe anything now when it comes to him. People saw him in a sling walking around and I'm like, that man wore a friggin' boot and crutches to fool us. So I do have some trust issues when it comes to Seth Rollins. The chair shot heard around the world, the boot. So until WWE releases a statement, I am going to just sit here. Just sit here because I have some trust issues when it comes to that man. But on a serious note, if he is hurt, hopefully it's nothing major. Hopefully the Visionary can get back soon rather than later, heal, and just really start his recovery process ASAP because he is one that will be missed on the roster if he is out. He is such a dynamic force. They don't call it Monday Night Rollins for nothing because he truly is what embodies a champion. So I think that was the decision on breaking up the Vision this early. I think had that not happened, the Vision would have definitely carried into 2026 and we wouldn't have saw cracks until then. But with that being said, I do kind of like that the WWE is passing the torch in a sense to Braun and Bronson. These two guys have worked super, super hard. They are strong forces on the roster. Braun is just like Stephanie and Tiffy, like we talked earlier. He made a name for himself as soon as he hit the main roster, and he has not slowed down. So I'm excited to see what those two can do. And obviously, if Seth truly is injured, we hope that he has a speedy recovery and gets back in that ring soon because we will miss him. And then I want to talk a little bit about Dominic Mysterio because I want to talk about his transition, you guys. Like, I have to give him so much props. He's become one of my favorites, and I have to give him so much props because I was looking yesterday on X, and it showed like a clip of him when he was still tagged with Ray versus now. And you guys, the change honestly is crazy. Like, he is growing and learning and developing every single week. every single week. And I am so impressed by him that I seriously want him to hold his title for as long as possible. Like, there's not anybody on my radar that I would rather see with that title right now. So I'm hopeful that the WWE really knows what they have in Dom. The fans have been very, very loud in supporting him lately and love him. So I hope that they don't fumble this and have him lose too early, because I think he's one that can hold that title for a very, very long time. I think he is such a dynamic superstar. He really plays into his character, which I love, because I love when people commit to their characters. And he's just impressive. Please, if you have not, take a look back at Dom when he first started versus Dom now. It'll blow your mind. He is so impressive. But that's really kind of what I want to talk about. The biggest thing that happened this week was the Vision losing the Visionary. So we will see what happens in the coming weeks with them. I am on vacation next week, you guys. I am going to try to continue to create content. But like I said, I have a busy week, so I may not be posting every single day, but I will be posting videos for sure throughout the week on YouTube. And I have big things coming on TikTok. We are going to start my Halloween costumes next week as well. So if you don't follow me on TikTok, you need to go follow me now. As always, subscribe to this channel, like, comment, follow me on all socials, and I'll see you guys next week.